Playing pickleball for us together is extremely difficult. We will be out there with each other and be literally so mad at each other that I'm just like, hey, I'm forfeiting the tournament. I'm walking away.
Without the gospel, honestly, we'd have no reason to play together. My name is Jessica Johnson. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, welcome. This is my husband, Jack, which you may or may not have met in other videos that I've made in the past. In particular, one of my pickleball videos that I did a tournament with my husband, I talked about how when we play together, the goal isn't necessarily to win. It's to represent Christ. Well,
people have told us that they, with their spouses, have watched the video that Jessica made.
Today, while we are playing, our goal is to put God on display through our relationship and how we treat each other on the court.
And said, well, dang, if they're doing this to represent Jesus, then we should too. And they've gotten frustrated because they've ended up in fights and arguments as a married couple. And they're like, what the heck? We're doing this for God, and it's clearly not working out for us. So here is the reality, or the ugly truth, for what it means to not only play sports with your spouse, but when you make the claim you're gonna do something to represent God or represent Jesus, that's not just a simple thing.
One thing I always say to Jack, and it's not necessarily right of me, but I'll be like, well, how come I don't have the issues I have with other people that I'll play with out there, like I have with you, you know? For example, we had a tournament this weekend. I had this little thought in the back of my mind. I knew we were playing together and I was worried because I know myself and I know where I'm prideful, and the things that I think I was worried about coming out of me, I let happen. In the natural, I want to be like, well, let's just not play together. We can avoid this whole problem by not playing together. I go play with someone else, you go play with somebody else, and problem solved, you would think. But when we were driving home after a rough day, Jack made a really good point to me, and he had said, okay, sure, you can do that, I guess, but that doesn't make the problem disappear. The problem is still there. You're just taking away the aggravator, but that same problem is going to show up somewhere else. And as much as I'll want to give up on playing together, because I know myself, I don't want to be that couple that just can't do it. I want to be able to do it. And even if we don't win, we might not be a quote, a winning team all the time together, but the reality is we are winning in our marriage if we can work through those problems and communicate out on the pickleball court.
So here's the reality for anyone that's deciding, okay, hey, me and my spouse, we also want to represent Jesus and we want to go out there and play together. The gospel is that we are terrible people, that we were sinners in need of a savior, that we didn't have it all together, that our life is not perfect. The reality is you're still broken people. You still need a savior. You still need Jesus to do a work in you. If going out there and suddenly playing pickleball together was gonna be easy, well, it wouldn't do a very good job of putting the gospel on display, because that looks like something that just comes naturally is, oh yeah, once again, you guys are just crushing it. That's not the truth of the gospel, and that's not the truth of our life. Playing pickleball for us together is extremely difficult. Both of our prides get in the way. And the point is that we get the opportunity to say, God, once again, I am making a mess of this, and I need you to do in me something that I could never do, obviously, in and of myself. That is what puts it on display.
And it gives us the opportunity to actually put the things into practice that we say that we believe. You say you believe, love is patient, love is kind, all those things, unless they're put to the test, how do you actually know you believe those things?
And so playing together, the point is to expose ourselves to things that do aggravate the nasty thing inside of me, that do show my true colors, and then say, okay, God, my pride is flaring. I am annoyed at her. I am the way she's talking to me out here. I'm embarrassed. I'm blah, 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 whatever it is. She's screwing up. I'm screwing up. Whatever it is. It's taking that and saying, God, help me treat her with respect. Help me talk to her with love. Help me take my pride and swallow it and say, I'm not really that big of a deal. It's okay. You're not that cool, Jack, or you're not that great, Jessica. And that's the actual miracle of being a Christian, is that even with all the terribleness that's going on inside of here, that we could go out there and by the power of the gospel, we could still love each other. We could love each other in spite of our issues.
Because without the gospel, honestly, like if we were just like two people that it wasn't working out and we were playing together, like we'd have no reason to play together.
Yeah, we're just not, yeah.
We just wouldn't.
And so we talk, people say, oh, we see you guys out there and we want to be like you guys and represent God and things like that. And buckle up. The whole point is to tell the world that, hey, I'm a train wreck. Yeah. And yet God did something and is doing something in me that I could not do for myself. That he's saving me and he's sanctifying me. He's changing me into something that I could have no chance of doing on my own. Like, we will be out there with each other and be literally so mad at each other that I'm just like, hey, I'm forfeiting the tournament. I'm walking away. Like,
that happened, yeah.
You can take the truck. You can take the truck home. I'll just ride with somebody else. I'm done. Or we're saying things that if they were mic'd,
oh, that would be a fun way.
We'd be so embarrassed to have the things that are coming out of our mouth on display for the world to see. Now, that's also part of it. That's also part of it. The only reason we're embarrassed is because we're trying to live this fake me version where we want to convince the whole world that no, I'm perfect. No, I've got my life together. And that's just not the reality. Jesus told the Pharisees they were whitewashed tombs. Dead inside, but they look pretty from the outside. And if we're not careful as Christians and in the world, that's exactly what we'll be. We'll remove the things that show our true colors. Oh, we keep fighting, so we're not going to play sports together. Or, oh, I get in an argument at work, so I'm just with that person, so I'm just not going to talk to them anymore. And sure enough, from the outside, no one sees us mad anymore. No one sees us angry. We still got the nasty, dead, selfish pride problem inside. It didn't solve nothing. You just avoided the things that tripped it. And then, unfortunately, it's gonna find another way to come out. But since we're holding each other's hands in this and saying, hey, let's do this together. Let's allow God to do this work in us through this process. That's what allows it to happen.
If you're asking yourself, well, why do I need to put the gospel on display, like through playing with my spouse? Your marriage is supposed to be a picture of the gospel. That's one of the best places that you can put on display what Christ did for us.
Because the Bible, we do have the Great Commission. We do have a mandate to go and tell the world. Now, some people don't have the talent to go just orate, to go preach, to go speak, to go make videos, whatever your thing is. But this stuff like this makes it easy. God didn't make it rocket science, brain surgery, whatever you want to say. God made it very simple. Things like this, what people see, people notice. And they come up to you and they say, oh man, that's so cool, you play with your spouse. Me and my spouse, we can't do that. We fight. Boom. That's a conversation. Clearly, that's an open door to tell somebody, yeah, well, so do we. But X, Y, Z. Tell them about your faith. You tell them about things like that. Tell them about how, yeah, you get the same problems they do. Because people get it. Every marriage has got the same problems. And so this is an easy way to share the gospel.
Well, anyways, now you guys know the ugly truth. You have seen our secrets. Our plan is to keep trying and keep playing together. Of course, we're gonna mix it up and play with other people and stuff like that, but we never wanna be so prideful that we'll be like, no. So the goal is to keep improving, and hopefully you guys see and witness that journey along with us. If you like this video and this kind of content, please let me know. I actually enjoy this kind of sit down content, especially if there's like a subject or something that you guys like, whether it's regarding sports and pickleball or marriage or whatever it is. We're stepping into a brand new season in just a couple of months. We're having a baby. So that's gonna be a whole other thing about like, how do we manage a baby and still being active and playing sports and all that. That's gonna be a big thing in our life and in our marriage. So let me know, like this video, subscribe to my channel for more things just like this. And I love you guys. Thanks for following along, and we'll see you next time. Bye.